saattir sürüyor. Rafinereyi vurdular.
A new wave of high-precision Ukrainian strikes has delivered one of the most serious blows yet to Russia's southern defenses, and its capacity to export oil through the Black Sea. Satellite images now confirm heavy damage to the Shishkary's oil terminal in Novorossiysk, following a combined drone and missile attack that ignited large fires, severed pipelines, and disabled critical loading systems. With essential infrastructure crippled, one of Russia's most important oil export nodes may be out of service for an extended period, threatening the flow of 25 to 30% of the country's seaborne oil exports. The same strike package also targeted the deployment site of the 1,537th Anti-Aircraft Missile Regiment near Novorossiysk, producing one of the largest confirmed single losses of Russian air defense equipment since the war began. Prior to the attack, satellite imagery captured between 5 and 12 S-400 launchers deployed at the site. OSINT analyst M.T. Anderson reviewed pre-strike imagery from November 11th and identified 7 launchers in active positions, alongside supporting command vehicles and radar assets. Ukrainian Special Operations Center A of the SBU subsequently executed a coordinated drone strike that destroyed 4 S-400 launchers, an entire battery, along with a long-range early warning radar and a target acquisition radar. With up to 12 launchers located within the impact zone, additional systems may have been damaged or rendered inoperable. Even accounting for potential decoy equipment, the strike inflicted losses on at least one full S-400 division, as well as several Pantsir-S units responsible for close-range air defense. These losses are extraordinary in scale. Visual confirmed data collected by independent analysts over the past 3.5 years records 19 destroyed or damaged S-400 launchers in total. This single strike may have increased overall S-400 losses by 20 to 30%, and that figure does not include personnel casualties or equipment disabled but not visually documented. The impact is comparable to earlier milestone operations, including the sinking of the Moskva cruiser and the systematic elimination of Russian air defense nodes under Operation Spiderweb. The consequences for Russia extend far beyond Novorossiysk. The destruction of high-value systems in the Kuban region exposes the broader deterioration of Russian air and missile defense coverage across the south. The 4th Guard Air and Air Defense Forces Army, responsible for protecting Crimea, Rostov, and the North Caucasus, has been increasingly degraded by months of targeted Ukrainian strikes. With fewer operational systems available, Russian commanders have had to concentrate surviving S-400 and Pantsir units around privileged zones such as Moscow and St. Petersburg, leaving the operational rear far more vulnerable. The Novorossiysk attack confirms that Russia's once dense defensive network in the region can no longer withstand a coordinated Ukrainian strike at a depth of 430 to 450 kilometers. Ukrainian improvements in long-range strike capabilities have combined with the thinning of Russian defenses to create openings that were previously difficult to exploit. This emerging imbalance explains the accelerating tempo of successful Ukrainian attacks on refineries, ports, logistics hubs, and air defense installations across southwestern Russia. Together, the destruction of Shishkary's and the heavy losses inflicted on the 1,537th Regiment represent a cascading set of problems for Moscow. A weakening defensive shield, mounting equipment attrition, compromised supply lines, and a direct threat to strategic oil revenues. As winter approaches, Ukraine appears increasingly capable of shaping the battlefield hundreds of kilometers beyond the front line, striking at the infrastructure and systems Russia can least afford to lose. The droid, TW-12.7 Unmanned Ground Vehicle, UGV, under the control of operators of the NC-13 Company of the 3rd Assault Brigade, replaced one of the infantry positions and held the position for a month and a half. The commander of the NC-13 UGV Company told this in an interview with the drone manufacturer DevDroid. According to the soldier, the task of the machine gun UGV was to control an intersection from a certain settlement, from where enemy forces were occasionally moving in. Every morning, the operators took the robot to the position for combat duty and returned it in the evening. In total, the duties lasted for a month and a half. During this month and a half, the droid TW-12.7 successfully completed several missions against the enemy. In the end, the invaders were unable to pass through this area and remained under constant fire from the UG-5. In general, if we speak about the attack UGV-S as a tool, such means can support infantry units both to help them during offensive actions and to cover them during defense. That is, they can relieve some of the burden from infantrymen, summarizes the commander of the NC-13 Strike UGV company. According to the serviceman, they are now trying to move the operators of the UGVS further away from the front line, out of the combat zone, as they are specialists who take a lot of time to train. Work is also underway to use not single units, but groups of strike UGVS with 2 to 4 drones during assault operations. To coordinate such an operation, it is necessary for drone operators to be in the same room and to be able to control them all quickly. The droid TW-12.7 is a ground robotic system manufactured by DevDroid, which is armed with a combat module with a 12.7mm M2 Browning machine gun. The UGV was codified by the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine at the end of 2024, and, in addition to digital communication, has integration with Starlink and LTE. According to the commander of the NC-13 company, a feature of this model is the user-friendly software that allows for the distribution of robot control among several people. We can use one operator to control the turret and the platform. We can use 2 operators, or we can distribute the control to a third computer for the commander, he said. In general, it takes from 1 month to 1.5 to train an operator of a ground robotic strike system from scratch, while an experienced operator of the UGV will master it in a week. A Russian woman posted this. No comment is needed. I'm grateful to my brother, who died in the special military operation for this apartment. Thank you, little brother. The common dream of Russians is a speedy, one big victory in the war against Ukraine. Sergei Kiriyenko, Putin's first deputy chief of staff, said, "Keep dreaming, asshole. It's not a 3 days war to take Kyiv. It's 3 years nightmare for you."
The guys today on the front line are defending our very sovereignty and right to choose with weapons in hand, risking their lives. We all have one dream now. Victory, a swift victory, one big victory for all of us.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.